Hello and welcome back F1 Wolf fam! Mercedes makes a comeback at the Spanish Grand Prix. But can they challenge Red Bull? Find out the exciting developments and upgrades in store for the upcoming races. Will the new W14 specification bridge the gap? Stay tuned as we delve into Mercedes' journey towards reclaiming their position in the championship. But before we do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you like all things F1. Alright, now let's get back to the video. Mercedes continues to struggle, but exciting developments are on the way. With upgrades focused on downforce and stabilities, all eyes are on them at the Canadian Grand Prix. Will the new modifications unlock untapped potential in the W14 car? Russell has hinted at an exciting response to that question, suggesting that there are even more upgrades in the pipeline. These upgrades are expected to arrive within a short time frame, spanning the next few F1 races. Yeah, Silverstone we're excited for. I think we'll be in a good place there to fight for a good result. We might have a couple more things coming for Silverstone, but we need to not get too carried away with just this one result. The team have done an amazing job to bring these upgrades. I think Aston and Ferrari probably underperformed a little bit in the race in Spain. So let's see what the next races bring, but definitely a great step forward, Russell said. Andrew Chauvelin, the trackside engineering director at Mercedes, shared the same view as Wolff that their car performed well at Barcelona since the circuit suited their inherent strengths. However, he acknowledges that the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix will pose a completely different challenge for them. Therefore, he doesn't anticipate being able to surpass Red Bull in the immediate future. The fact is that update kit works very well around circuits like Barcelona with a lot of high-speed performance. Although the car itself probably would have been okay there, because we've been better at the fast circuits than front-limited tracks. So we ended up with a really good balance, really good race pace. Now, where we're going to go next, Montreal, it's a very different circuit, low-speed corners. Quite a lot of straight line full throttle, and we would expect more of a challenge there. So, we're not thinking that we'll be going and nipping at the heels of Red Bull. We're going in there prepared for a battle with Ferrari, Aston Martin, maybe even Alpine, Chauvelin said. Mercedes had a disappointing start to the 2023 season, but they made significant improvements at the Spanish Grand Prix. Both drivers stood on the podium together for the first time this year. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen continued his winning streak with his 5th victory of the season, showcasing his dominance. However, the noteworthy aspect was that Mercedes, equipped with their new W14 specification, have potentially re-established themselves as the primary contender to Red Bull once again. Since the introduction of the new cars in 2022, they have only managed to secure a single victory. Last year, George Russell celebrated his first win in the prestigious Brazilian race, while Lewis Hamilton hasn't tasted victory since the eventful race in Saudi Arabia back in 2021. Mercedes recently introduced several upgrades to their car during the Monaco race, but their true test on a more typical circuit happened in Barcelona. Following a disappointing start to the season with their new W14 Challenger, the German manufacturer has been diligently working on a range of modifications at their Brackley factory. Aside from pursuing improvements in overall downforce, Mercedes has been determined to provide their drivers with a more consistent and stable platform. This led to visual changes in the side pods, as well as adjustments to the front suspension and floor. Following significant upgrade packages from Ferrari and Mercedes, Aston Martin has confirmed that they have a major update in store for the upcoming race in Montreal. After a relatively quiet performance in Spain, it will be fascinating to compare the improved AMR 23 against the modified W14 to determine which team has developed the most well-rounded package capable of challenging Red Bull's dominant run this year. Considering Red Bull's current supremacy, Mercedes' potential for 2023 will likely be limited to solidifying their position as the consistent second force on the grid. However, they will also strive to narrow the substantial gap to the current championship leaders. Both of these objectives are realistic and attainable. Mercedes has consistently impressed with its rate of development during the turbo hybrid era. Even in their challenging campaign last year, they managed to close the performance gap and give Ferrari a tough fight for second place. At the beginning of this year, it seemed unlikely that Mercedes would regain their former dominant position. But now there is hope and progress towards becoming a title contender once again. While they still have a long way to go to match Red Bull's benchmark, the recent upgrade was not aimed at immediately achieving regular race wins. Instead, it was seen as a crucial first step in recovering the lost ground that Mercedes imposed on itself since the start of last year, and they have successfully made progress in that regard. On the other hand, Ferrari faced more troubling signs during the race in Spain. After initially challenging Red Bull for wins in 2022, Mercedes has been gradually slipping further behind. They introduced upgrades for the recent race, but instead of improving their performance, it seems they may have taken a wrong turn. Their car still struggles with tire wear, as seen with Carlos Sainz finishing 5th, a considerable 45 seconds behind Verstappen, despite starting in 2nd place. Needless to say, this was not the result the Scuderia had hoped for. Barcelona is known for exposing a car's strengths and weaknesses, making it a circuit where performance and data can be easily measured. In fact, it was during pre-season testing in Spain that the strengths of some of Mercedes' most dominant cars became apparent, while also revealing the weaknesses of their design under the new regulations in 2022. Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff warns against complacency, emphasizing that the potential shown at the Spanish Grand Prix does not guarantee their ability to surpass Red Bull. He recalls that a year ago, a promising performance in Spain did not translate into consistent success in subsequent races. Wolff stated, "We need to manage our own expectations. We were really upset in qualifying because we believed P2, P3 was in, and it wasn't. So, I don't want to go to Canada and say that's another 2nd and 3rd there, because it could as easily be a 5th and 6th. There is more to understand." Hamilton is confident that the performance in Spain truly reflects where Mercedes stands. Despite facing strong competition from Aston Martin and Ferrari, he remains optimistic about their position, saying, "They normally say if you're quick in Barcelona, then the car should generally be good everywhere. And I think we will be strong in the next races. There will be times when the Aston may be slightly ahead or the Ferrari maybe is ahead, but I think our race pace continues to be a strength of ours as it was last year. I think this weekend particularly, we've understood the car even more, so I think we can count on that being strong moving forward. We've just got to try to lift the overall performance of the car a little bit more to try to close the gap to these guys." While it's important not to read too much into the Barcelona result, it holds undeniable significance. Mercedes still has a considerable distance to cover in order to catch up to Red Bull. Challenging for a race win this year appears doubtful, considering Verstappen's strong performance and dominance. Nevertheless, with Mercedes' exceptional development capabilities and a formidable driver lineup, the Spanish Grand Prix could be seen as the initial step in their journey back to competing for the championship. Do you think Mercedes has what it takes to close in on Red Bull? Are you excited to see the battle between Aston Martin, Ferrari, and Mercedes unfold in the upcoming races? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.